AI and advertising, it feels like it's everywhere.
Yeah, it's like 1 minute it's AI is going to take all our jobs, and the next it's the answer to like every marketing problem ever.
So how do we cut through all the hype?
Well, luckily we've got some seriously interesting research to dig into today.
When you say research, don't worry, listeners, this isn't some dry, boring academic paper.
Not at all. This one is full of insights from, get this, 23 different experts, all working in ad agencies.
Oh, wow. So it's like getting a sneak peek into the minds of the people actually shaping the industry?
Exactly. And they're not just theorizing about AI, they're out there using it right now in their agencies.
That's what I love about this deep dive series. We're all about the real world stuff.
Absolutely. And this paper, they use this framework. It's called the Business Model Canvas. And it basically breaks down an ad agency into 9 key areas and then looks at like where AI is really making a difference.
9 areas. Wow. So we're talking like value proposition, customer relationships.
You got it. Distribution channels, customer segments, revenue streams, the whole shebang.
I was going to say, it's starting to sound like business school bingo over here. But don't worry, we're going to unpack all of that, explain what it actually means, and how it affects you, the listener.
Right, because at the end of the day, who cares about some fancy business model, right?
Exactly. What matters is how this AI stuff is actually changing the game. So let's start with the value proposition. What does that even mean in the context of, like, an ad agency with AI?
Basically, it boils down to, in this new world, this AI-driven world, what makes an ad agency worth its salt? What do they bring to the table that AI can't do on its own?
That is the million-dollar question, isn't it? If AI can do everything, why even have ad agencies anymore?
You know what? That's where the research gets really interesting. It's not about AI replacing agencies. It's about it making them better at what they already do.
Okay.
Think about it. Understanding audiences, crafting those really persuasive messages, getting those messages in front of the right people. AI is like, it's like giving agencies a superpower in all those areas.
So it's like AI is giving ad agencies superpowers, kind of like that.
Yeah, it's true. And a big part of that is like the experts they talked to, they said it's all about unlocking deeper insights from data.
Okay. Give us an example. How does that actually work?
So imagine like you're a sneaker company and you're really trying to connect with Gen Z, right?
Yeah.
AI can analyze everything. TikTok trends, online reviews, social media conversations, you name it, all those millions of data points, and it can pinpoint exactly what's resonating with that audience.
So we're not just talking about, like, basic demographics anymore.
No way. It's way more nuanced. It's about understanding microcultures,
Yeah.
fleeting moments of passion. It's about getting those insights that lead to really authentic, impactful campaigns.
Okay, now that's what I call a value proposition. Getting inside the heads of your target audience like never before.
Exactly.
So we've talked about AI making agencies smarter, about understanding their clients' customers. What about the relationship with the clients themselves?
Okay, so that's where AI starts to get really, really interesting. We're talking about customer relationships and how AI can help agencies anticipate their clients' needs before they even come up.
Hold on. Is AI suddenly psychic now? Predicting the future of advertising?
Think of it like predictive analytics on steroids. So AI can analyze all sorts of data, past campaigns, market trends, you name it, and it can spot those patterns and basically say, hey, this is what your client is going to need next month, even if they don't know it yet.
So instead of just reacting to a client's brief, you're saying agencies can be more proactive. They can come to the table with new ideas.
Exactly.
I mean, imagine being the client in that situation. Your agency isn't just following orders. They're like a mind-reading strategic partner, always one step ahead.
And that is a whole new level of value.
Agencies becoming mind readers. Who knew?
Uh,
But, okay, let's talk about how all this AI stuff actually gets those ads in front of us, the consumers.
you're talking about distribution channels, right?
Exactly. Because it's not like the old days where you just slap an ad on TV and call it a day, right? Now you've got social media, you've got online streaming, a million different ways to reach people.
It's a whole different ballgame.
So how does AI factor into all that?
Well, imagine AI as like the ultimate air traffic controller for your ads.
Okay.
It's not just choosing where your ads go, but it's also figuring out like when to show them, to whom, all in real time.
Wow, in real time. So it's like
Yeah.
constantly adapting.
Constantly. Remember those old set it and forget it ad campaigns?
Yeah, I feel like those were simpler times, weren't they?
Right.
Yeah.
You'd make your TV spot, get it on the air, and hope for the best.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, well, those days are long gone. With AI, your ad campaign, it's like this living, breathing thing. AI is constantly analyzing all this data, like who's clicking, what's trending, even like what time of day it is.
Wow.
And it's constantly adjusting the ad delivery to make sure it's having the biggest impact possible.
So less of that spray and pray approach, I guess, which I'm sure is good news for brands. No more wasting money on ads that nobody sees.
Exactly. And it's not just about, optimizing the channels that we already have. AI is also helping agencies find entirely new customer segments. So like groups of potential customers that they never even knew existed.
Okay, so forget those, like broad demographics. This is about getting super niche, right?
Super niche. AI can look at your online behavior, social media interactions, even things like what music you listen to, what restaurants you like.
Oh, wow.
And it uses that to create these incredibly detailed customer profiles.
It's a little Big Brother-ish if you think about it too much,
Yeah.
but I do like the idea of getting ads that are actually relevant to me.
Right. And for the agencies, this kind of granular targeting, it's huge. It means they can be much more efficient with ad spending. They can get better results for their clients.
Which means happy clients and presumably more money for the agencies, right?
Exactly. It's a win-win.
Okay, so all this sounds impressive, but I have to ask, AI doing all this analysis, all this targeting, it can't be cheap, right? Like,
Yeah.
how does this impact the agency's bottom line?
That is a great question. And this is where we get into revenue streams and key activities.
Yeah.
Basically, the research suggests that AI isn't just changing how agencies work, it's actually creating entirely new services that they can offer to clients.
Oh, okay. So new ways for agencies to make money. Tell me more about that.
So think about it. Premium services built around like really deep dive data analysis, AI-driven content creation, things like writing blog posts, social media updates, even video scripts.
Right.
And of course, those hyper-personalized ad campaigns that we were talking about.
Those are all things that, like, humans could do before, but it would take forever.
Exactly. It would be incredibly time-consuming. But AI can do it at scale, and it can do it really well. And I think clients are starting to realize this because they're willing to pay a premium for these kinds of services.
I mean, it's like having an army of marketing robots working for you.
Exactly. And this is where it gets really interesting because that line between like creative agency and tech company, it's starting to get really blurry. And I think the agencies that can successfully integrate AI, they have this huge opportunity to like redefine themselves, offer something truly unique.
It's almost like a new breed of agency, part creative shop, part software company.
You got it. And that's something that a lot of the experts in the study really emphasized. They weren't afraid of AI replacing jobs.
Right.
They saw it as this opportunity. One of them even said, and I'm paraphrasing here, but it was something like, AI is like having a team of interns that work 24/7, but these interns are amazing at analyzing data.
That's a great way to put it.
It frees up the creative teams from those really tedious, repetitive tasks.
So they can focus on the big ideas.
Exactly.
Interesting.
And that brings us to kind of like the less glamorous, but still super important part of all this, which is like the key resources, key partnerships, and the cost structure.
So it sounds like it takes more than just buying some fancy AI software and like plugging it in. There's a whole other level here with like resources, partnerships. Agencies really need to step up their game to make this work.
Yeah, this isn't like, your typical software upgrade. The research actually uses this term. It's called AI literacy.
AI literacy.
Yeah.
Okay, so is everyone at the agency going to have to like go back to school and become a data scientist?
Not exactly, but it's more about making sure that everyone from the account managers to the creatives understands like the basics, how AI works and how it can be used in their roles. Because like an account manager could use AI to better understand their clients' needs. A creative could use it to refine their campaigns.
So it's about making AI part of the agency's DNA, not just like this separate thing.
Exactly. And, speaking of DNA, another really interesting thing the paper talks about is the rise of these, what they call key partnerships.
Yeah.
Basically, ad agencies teaming up with tech companies.
Makes sense, right? The agencies get access to the best AI tools, and the tech companies get to see their creations out in the wild.
Yeah, it's mutual beneficial. And the study found that this is happening more and more. Like, big agencies are acquiring smaller AI startups. Tech companies are building teams dedicated to working with agencies. It's a whole new world out there.
It's like, if you can't beat them, join them.
But realistically, all of this sounds expensive. The software, the training, bringing on like new talent. So what's the impact on the agency's cost structure?
Well, there's no denying that, getting started with AI does require some upfront investment, but the research actually makes a really compelling argument. They say that those long-term benefits, they far outweigh the initial cost.
And I'm guessing that's because AI can ultimately make agencies more efficient, more effective, which hopefully means more profitable in the long run, right?
Right. Remember those premium services we were talking about? That's a whole new revenue stream that didn't exist before. Plus, when you can automate those more tedious tasks, your team is freed up to focus on higher value work.
So it's not just about cutting costs, it's about like really investing in the future of the agency.
Wow, this has been really eye-opening. It seems like AI is poised to completely transform the advertising industry as we know it.
It really does. And the thing is, this is just the beginning, you know? It's changing so rapidly.
It's exciting, but also a little bit intimidating, right?
Totally. And what we've talked about today just scratches the surface. There's so much more to explore, and new AI tools and techniques are emerging all the time.
So I guess the takeaway for anyone listening who's interested in the future of advertising is buckle up. It's going to be a wild ride.
It definitely will.